QuickBooks had their annual QuickBooks Connect event last night over at California. And as it being a virtual event means that we could even see from a UK perspective exactly what new toys are around the corner. Join me on this video where we discuss what's been announced and how or if that could look at coming over to the UK product.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it starts, I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me.
Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Aaron Patrick. I'm a Chartered Accountant Certified UK Trainer and also that QuickBooks chat. So QuickBooks had its annual conference last night where basically it's telling everyone how great and how wonderful QuickBooks is, which is true, but more importantly it also said what to expect in the product coming up. Now, one thing to note, this is all based at the US audience, so this is what's going to happen in the US product. We may not get every one of these announcements, we may not get any of these announcements at all, or they may take a lot of time to get there. But there were some really interesting aspects of this video and some parts of the conference that actually made me think that's going to be a great addition. So I've already sent a few emails off, I've already sent a few feedbacks off, and let's see if we can try and push for some of these to come to us over in the UK as soon as possible. Now, the ones that really took my boat was more about making it easy for us as accountants to help you as small businesses or to help our clients make it easier. And one that really stood out to me was this opportunity where you have the ability to look at a transaction that has an error or has an issue or has something missing and then actually ask the question about that particular transaction to your client. Because think about it. What we normally do as accountants is we normally look at that transaction and we spend a good couple of minutes basically replicating that transaction in email content. We'll be going through and we'll be talking about how we've got the date and the amount and where it was to and everything else. Well, it makes sense, doesn't it, that we just take that information we've already found and we send it to a client and then they get to interact with it, because that will hold all the information the client needs to understand why we have an issue and find out the rest of the information we may need. Plus, the way that the process seems to be working is it's really quick and easy. The idea where we just tick on a few transactions, type in a bit of information what we need, and we can even do them in bulk. Also, in the demo as well, it was coming straight to the mobile phone of the client, and they would be able to respond to it directly in the app. So if we were asking for a missing transaction or a missing receipt or whatever it's going to be, they could just take a photo of that transaction and send it over to us. Just all without having to jump between hoops and having to download and upload and all this sort of stuff. They just reply directly to that question, respond to that question, and we're all good. And that is something I'm really hopeful for we can get in the UK as soon as possible. I think that's a bit of a game changer. That idea where we can get that information from our clients really quickly, really easily is something that's useful. And also, especially in this climate at the moment, where us as accountants, we're working those extra hours, we're putting different time frames and we're having to work around our normal 9-to-5 job just to be able to get work done. So sometimes it's a little bit disconcerting to be able to send an email or try and contact a client out of hours. Now we can just have that reassurance, we can send that over, they can deal with it when they need to deal with it, and we're not starting to cause friction or have any additional issues from there. So massive thumbs up for that idea and can't wait for that to be implemented. They're talking about the ability to import PDF bank statements as well. Now, if this does come to the UK, again, that'll be a great addition. We already have this in third-party solutions, so Receipt Bank, Auto Entry, they already give us the opportunity to take a PDF document of a bank and be able to send it over to them, and they will create it into some form of digital content that we can then put into QuickBooks. And it's actually really powerful, and it becomes more and more popular and more relevant, and it becomes more relevant for more and more clients, because not always do we have the reliance to be able to connect our bank directly to QuickBooks. Obviously, if we can connect our bank to QuickBooks, our life is so much easier because that information is automatically coming through and automatically been put in. But not every bank can support it, and some banks have issues and some clients don't have access to online bank accounts. So what we can do in difference is we can get a PDF document of their bank statement or their credit card statement, and then we can upload it and we can then send it into QuickBooks itself. That's really powerful, and that's going to be helpful for us to be able to work with our clients to find a solution that works for them, and not necessarily forcing every single client, or you as small business owners being forced to have to connect your bank accounts to QuickBooks. You're then going to have another alternative where you can take the PDF documents, put them into QuickBooks, and then they'll put that information into QuickBooks just like it was a normal bank connection. So massive thumbs up for that one. They seem to be pushing the banking section into more of a transactional area. Now, seems to be a good thing as well. So not only will you have your bank transactions and you have your rules and you have your receipts capture, but there seems to be this new section for app integration. And the idea there is that if you connect to something like Amazon Business, where you may have lots of transactions coming through from a particular business, then you should be able to connect that directly into QuickBooks, so that every time we have a transaction appear in one of these third parties, then we can connect it so it automatically comes into QuickBooks. It's treated like a bank account in that situation, where every time an invoice appears within that portal, we can then bring that and fetch that data directly in. Now again, this sort of solution is available in third parties. Receipt Bank and Auto Entry already give us this functionality, but we have to connect to third party to then get the information in, to then be able to bring the data in, and it becomes a bit of a friction. And for the clients we've set that up for, it works beautifully and it works really, really well. But having it in product means that we can quickly get that data in, we can get that connected up, and we're just keeping clients maintaining one product. And that's a real benefit, and that's something we want to be pushing as much as possible. Also, that opens up the idea that we can add multiple options to here. We can get multiple data coming in, and that's going to give us an opportunity to really deep dive into different connections and really get as much information as we can. And as making tax digital becomes more and more important, more and more relevant and more prevalent, then at that point we can start bringing in not just the data but also the attachments to it as well, and all manner of things. So I think this is a really good feature, something that I'm looking forward to being implemented in the UK product. They talked about QuickBooks Money, and we've spoke about QuickBooks Money before on this channel, but basically QuickBooks Money is their own, or Intuit's own, bank account. Now, cynically, from my point of view, I would love this to absolutely be implemented in the UK. I just feel like UK may have one or too many hoops to jump through for QuickBooks to be able to implement their own version of it, but hopefully that's exactly what they do, and they'd be able to bring their own banking institute or banking solution into QuickBooks. But if not, at least a partnership with another provider would be really beneficial. And the idea of this is that we can then quickly and easily generate different expense cards and different payment solutions, and be able to make sure we have a real tight integration between our payments and our income and everything that comes through. And that's the benefit of where this comes in, because your bookkeeping solution is so tightly integrated with your banking solution, means that you're going to have the best of every world possible. And that's where we can really see real benefits. The idea that when you get paid by a client, it will instantly be available for you to utilize that money. The way that you can have those new ways of looking at bank accounts, where we're going to be able to save for taxes and stuff directly in the product and make sure that we're keeping that money to one side. We're going to be able to look at making ways to pay your employees and pay your suppliers much quicker and much simpler, and set the dates they're going to pay in line with what your cash flow forecast is looking like, and be able to set what dates they're going to come in, so that you're not left with overdrawn. You're going to be able to have the opportunity to take credit off these bank accounts and off Intuit themselves, and it's going to give you a much more of an experience in terms of dealing with your bank. And I'm really looking forward to this. It's also something that, as a business advisor and as an offer of solutions as well, means that there's an opportunity for us to think about offering that to clients as an opportunity to manage payments and manage the way that we're bringing in, which we couldn't really do before, and we wouldn't want to do before outside of a third-party solution. But again, if it's all in-house and all in the same software, it gives us at least that ability to have that conversation about having that ability to help clients even more, be able to give them more solutions and more services. It's going to benefit them as a business, and that's what this is all about. We want to be given as many powers and as many opportunities as we can to help small businesses, and having a software like QuickBooks being our main solution, our main point of call, gives us that opportunity to have those extra solutions and those extra elements to it. And this is one of those examples where just having something as simple as a bank account that's built directly by the bookkeeping solution itself, and having that tight integration, can be a huge benefit for small businesses and can help them grow and help them get the right advice and the right elements to make sure their business is going in the right way. Remember Buffett's motto, want small businesses not just to survive but to thrive, and it's deep integrations like this which makes that possible. Accountants only, they talked about the fact that the month-end review is being expanded as well. More questions are being asked, more deep dive into the AI, and this is only a good thing. This is looking at things that they're looking at things that don't have attachments, things that may have been recorded in a different way. What I assume is going to be used is that technology they've had in SmartScan, where they can really look at detail and trends and everything else. They'll start bringing that into month-end review. And that's only a good thing. That means that we're going to get data that's even more clean, even more tidy, and being able to look at errors and mistakes quicker and be able to correct them more efficiently as well. Estimates have seemed to be changing as well. So the estimate is going to be something that is much more interactive. So once you send that estimate out from QuickBooks, you should be able to put other elements to it, like being able to give the opportunity for them to be able to make adjustments to it, so your potential customers, and also give them the opportunity to pay deposit and opportunity to look at attachments and things like that. So the idea is that it's a proper approval process and a proper situation where you send that estimate out to your potential new client and you get the response back, or you get the information back you need to be able to action it. And that could be really powerful for clients going forward, because that's going to give them the opportunity to be a bit more creative about their estimates, get more reliant on getting that information out there, and try and get more and more out there to try and increase their overall sales going forward. QuickBooks is looking to enhance its connections to third parties as well. So it's already looking at CRM solutions, so Salesforce, HubSpot, things like that. So that the idea is that you will be able to do a transaction in, or do something within one of those products, and then see that automatically reflect within QuickBooks. So for example, you take on a new customer in your CRM solution, that new customer appears in QuickBooks. That's one less task you need to set up, that's one less admin requirement that's automatically going to assign. And if you change the address in one, the other one will update. And this new idea of integrating as many different platforms as possible is only possible thanks to cloud accounting. And it's something that small businesses are utilizing on a daily basis to make sure that they are making themselves far more efficient and be able to concentrate on the important things about business, not just having to worry about the administration side and waste hours upon hours upon hours of making sure their administration is up to date. With a quick integration of two solutions, you can eliminate all that. And I'm really up for this. I think this is going to be a great way where we can see clients benefiting from having more integrations, more data points feeding into QuickBooks, which means QuickBooks is going to learn more, going to be able to give you as a small business owner far more information of how your business is doing, and give you the tools you need and the opportunities you need to really understand what's going on within QuickBooks Online. Now, this next section, they talked about tasks and workflow. We haven't seen this in the UK version, and there's no word that it's coming anytime soon. So what they talked about though is how they're enhancing that feature. They're enhancing the way in which you can actually go into QuickBooks and start assigning tasks to different employees, and you can make it so that it's far more of a hub for you to be able to run a business and not just a place where you can actually do your bookkeeping. And that's a great solution. There's already options like this outside of QuickBooks, and it's been really powerful. And it's already something that a lot of other services and solutions out there have been able to really build great products for. But the fact that QuickBooks are building it directly in, the fact QuickBooks are going to be offering that as a solution in-house, means it's going to be accessible to more businesses are going to make most of it. And it's little changes like that to your controls and to your admin and to your setup and to the way that you implement new procedures and new elements and be able to adapt quickly to things are changing, gives more empowerment to small business and gives you the chance of a small business to be able to thrive within these sort of situations. They mentioned again about QuickBooks Live that's already implemented in the US, and we've still got word that it's probably going to be coming to the UK at some point in time. Now, QuickBooks Live is all about being able to give you the ability as a small business to quickly reach out to someone and be able to do something. So the idea, it's all in product. You're not having to go out of the product. So you can ask for advice, you can ask for elements, you can ask for your bookkeeping. And at the moment, it's purely just on those bookkeeping solutions. But what QuickBooks' end goal is they want to expand QuickBooks Live, and it was the opportunity as accountants who want to help small businesses, who want to help businesses get off the ground, give us the opportunity to be able to interact with you and be able to give you advice on the fly. So it might be more of a tax-based question or something about how your accounts are going to do, or when's your tax return due, or whatever the question might be. The idea is that we can connect to an expert who's going to be able to give you the information quicker than you would be able to elsewhere. They expanded the month-end reports as well to also include client reports. So the idea is not just being able to rely on month-end review and as a way of just being able to look at the data and make sure the data's clean, but then get meaningful data out there that we're then going to send on. So if we're spending that time cleaning up the data, we might as well automate ourselves in terms of being able to get that data out to clients more efficiently. So the idea of client reports is to be able to quickly go through and say what reports we need, put comments on them, give them a bit of analytical insight, give them a bit of professional bias on them as well, and then be able to get that report out to the client really quickly. And this is great. This is a way where we can really find those month-end reports to be even more beneficial to clients, being even more useful to them, and give our opportunity as business advisors a chance for clients to see that we've done the work, see that we're looking out for them, see that we're keeping it clean, and giving them the importance of, and seeing what the importance of the data can be to them. Give them the power of that data, let them use Performance Center and all those other tools we've got as accountants, and give our clients a way forward. I truly believe this is the future for accountancy, and I think this is something we should all be embracing as professionals sooner rather than later. And that's it from the US side of things. We did have some other news though, so we've had some other conversations. QuickBooks Get Connected was happening the week before in the UK, so people were being invited to come on stage or virtually to come on stage to give presentations. I was one of them, so if you want to go out there and see my review on month end and my take on month end review, I was sat there virtually on the Intuit Get Connected stage giving out my opinions on month end review and how important it is to small businesses and especially accountants. But there was more to that as well. So we got some insights on what's happening in the UK side of things and how the UK is going to get adapted and what their next steps are. So the things they brought into play at that point was they're really looking at how self-employed aspect and the fact they've got that new self-employed module has been beneficial, and they're going to expand on that. So it's about giving estimates, it's about looking at submission, and also it's looking at corporation tax to go along with it as well. They also talked about the idea of being able to maybe file corporation tax within QuickBooks one day, which could be a really benefit to small businesses, and also the ability to maybe look at fixed assets as well. Now, from a fixed asset point of view, we here at Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, this channel always says that NetTrack is a third-party app that we would always recommend for small businesses to use and track their fixed assets. But having the opportunity to have it in product again will only be a benefit for other clients where it doesn't make sense for them to have a third-party solution. QuickBooks talked about the importance of creating workbooks as well within product. So that's going to make sure that if you're looking at accounts and procedures and everything else, you've got the confidence and the way to make sure that that data is correct before you start looking at submitting it or anything else. And then they talked about prepayments and payment functions on account. So this is all about your sales and about making it so it's easier for you to account for them, and that can only be a good thing. We already have videos on this channel about how to do prepayments, how to do accruals, and in this content more than anything about how to account for payment on account and how to account for maybe not paying all of an invoice off at the same time. All of that so far is all workarounds that we are trying to teach people and trying to make sure that people are aware of. But what QuickBooks are trying to do is make that more intuitive and making sure that you can follow that steps easier and that you're not having to use workarounds, but you're using tools within the product. And that can only be a good thing, and that can only mean people aren't going to get confused about it and then going to make mistakes. So I'm really happy about that. And there we have it. There's all the announcements from not only QuickBooks Get Connected, but also QuickBooks Connect. And also thinking about, from my point of view, what that means. Now, this is an exciting time, and this is something that I think if you are interested in any of those updates, then definitely stay tuned to this channel. I don't just have access to UK product, but I also have access to USA product. So if I do see any of these enhancements, and I will make sure we do a deep dive into them. So make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss out on any of the updates coming forward. It really is great time. We've had some great enhancements in the last year. We've had receipt capture, we've had cash flow forecasts, we've had the ability to look at performance center. We've had so many enhancements to QuickBooks, but it's important to see that we've got some other important ones coming our way as well. But to make sure you're making the most out of QuickBooks already, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can see the best in terms of tips and tricks there is out there. My name's Aaron Patrick. It's been an absolute pleasure to do this video for you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.
I say yeah, 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 yeah. I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it starts, when it starts. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want, if you want. I can be a fighter. I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter. You want all the way that I feel, yeah, I know that it's real, cause I can get them out of my head. I don't care what we do, everything's feeling new, even if we stay in bed. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah. You know I want him, nah, 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 nah. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah.
Hello and thank you for watching that video. What you may not know is this channel that you've watched this video from is part of a wider group. That wider group is called AppleCore Production, and the 3 channels that we have involved are as follows: Aaron Patrick the QuickBooks Chat, Boffick's Tax Tip. Finally, we have AppleCore Live and Geeky. All the links and everything are down below in the description, but it really means a lot to us if you can go and give a like to the other channels as well.